You will not believe who they bullied. A busy public area, a park square bustling with people. A young man, Jason, mid-30s, dark-skinned, well-dressed but understated, walks through the crowd, casually holding a small briefcase. He appears quiet and reserved, perhaps too unassuming. Behind him, a group of office workers, 3 men, including Steve and Mike, sit at an outdoor cafe table, laughing obnoxiously. Steve, loudly to Mike, while pointing at Jason. "Check this out, Mike. How much you think a guy like him make? Bet he's just one of those you-know-what guys trying to mooch off the system." Mike, snickering. "Yeah, probably drives an Uber or sells cheap stuff at flea markets. Look at him. Why even bother dressing up? Steve, man, I can't even believe he's walking around here. This ain't the place for them." They laugh cruelly. Jason glances over but continues walking, ignoring them. A high-rise corporate building the following day. The office floor is busy, and Steve, Mike, and their group are seen working together. They're preparing for a major presentation, tense and nervous. It's a big day for them. Steve, leaning over to Mike. "I heard the new boss is coming today. Some hotshot from the city. Never seen him, though." Mike, "Yeah, hope he's cool. We need to impress him today, or we're screwed." Steve, "Let's just hope he's not one of those corporate hard asses. We need to stay in the good book." Suddenly, the office door opens, and Jason enters. The room goes silent. Steve and Mike exchange confused looks as they recognize him from the park. Now, in the office meeting room, Jason, now dressed in a sharp, custom-tailored suit, walks confidently to the front of the room. He stands beside a senior executive who begins to address the team. Executive. "Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to the new head of our division, Mr. Jason Fields. He's been with us for several years now, working overseas, and we're thrilled to have him lead the team here." Jason gives a slight nod, his eyes meeting Steve and Mike's directly. They visibly shrink back in their chairs. Jason, calmly with a slight smile. "Thank you, Tom. I look forward to working with everyone. I'm sure we'll make great strides together." His tone is polite, but there's an underlying edge. The office workers clap awkwardly, unsure of how to react. Later in the day, Steve and Mike find themselves in Jason's office, called in for a private meeting. They sit nervously across from him, the tension palpable. Jason, leaning back in his chair, tapping his fingers together. "So, interesting seeing you two here. I didn't get the chance to introduce myself yesterday in the park. You seemed busy." Steve, stammering. "Oh, we didn't mean anything by that. Just joking around." Jason, eyes narrowing. "Is that so? Joking. You know, I've heard worse, seen worse. But yesterday? That wasn't a joke. It was something else entirely." Steve and Mike shift uncomfortably. Jason, calm but cold. "I'm not here for revenge. That's not my style. But I am here to teach you something. Life has a funny way of putting people in places they never expected, doesn't it?" He lets the silence hang in the air for a moment. Jason, with quiet authority, "You judged me based on my appearance, based on your assumptions of who I am. You decided that my value was less than yours because of how I look. But here's the lesson. Power doesn't always come from what you see on the outside. You never know who someone is or what they've accomplished. I could have been anyone in that park. But now, I'm the one deciding where this company goes next. And I suggest you both reflect on how quickly tables can turn." Setting, a week later. Steve and Mike, humbled by the experience, are seen working diligently at their desks. Jason walks through the office, briefly glancing their way. Steve catches his eye and nods respectfully. Jason pauses, considering for a moment before giving a small, acknowledging nod back to his inner thoughts. We all have choices. We can choose to judge others by the surface, by what we think we know. Or we can open our minds and hearts to something greater. What's beneath the surface often holds more power than we'll ever understand. Jason walks away, leaving Steve and Mike deep in thought. Final scene. Jason stands in front of a large window in his office, looking out over the city. Jason, to himself. True strength doesn't come from seeking revenge. It comes from knowing who you are and not letting the small minds of others define your worth. From this story, we can learn to never judge a book by its cover. Power, success, and worth don't come from appearance or assumptions, but from resilience, hard work, and character. The tables can always turn, so treat others with respect and kindness. You never know who they truly are. The end.